Pop Punk and Pizza podcast is presented by Pop Punk Takeout, which is a monthly subscription service that delivers merchandise from pop punk artists from all over the world directly to your door in a takeout box. You can choose between a pizza takeout box or a Chinese food takeout box. One is more economical than the other. You know, you're on a tight budget, they've got you covered. So sign up today at poppunktakeout.com. And you can also follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Pop Punk Takeout.
I'm going out, I gotta go. I'll bang a rang on the radio. So turn it up, I'm telling you. I think I'm ready for something new. Hey, hello, it's nice to meet ya. Hey, come in and have a slice of pizza. Hey, hello, it's nice to meet ya. Hey, come in and have a slice of pizza.
You're listening to Pop Punk and Pizza with Jacques Lamour.
Yo, what is up? It is so great to have you here. And this is yet again another bonus episode for you to sink your teeth into. I feel so, it felt weird doing our sponsor intro for this episode because that's actually who's on our podcast today. So it's like Pop Punk Takeout presents Pop Punk Takeout, literally. So for almost, I think it's been almost a year now, I've been talking about Pop Punk Takeout, this monthly subscription service that delivers all this cool merchandise from punk-oriented artists from all over the world directly to your door in a takeout box. And I feel like it's time that you actually meet the two honchos, the two head honchos, the masterminds. You actually meet them, the ones that are behind this amazing little startup company that's actually been growing quite a bit here in the last year. So let's welcome Veronika and Scott of Pop Punk Takeout. Yo!
Hello.
How's it going, guys?
You're right.
Good.
It was very weird to see our faces just like in the intro being like Pop Punk Takeout features Pop Punk Takeout.
Yeah, it's like Pop Punk Takeout presents Pop Punk and Pizza podcast featuring Pop Punk Takeout.
It's a what's that thing in like music where it's like it just repeats like constantly. It's just like one of those like little brackets or whatever.
Oh, refrain?
Yes.
A
Sure.
Chorus, refrain, chorus.
Sure.
One of
those.
one of those things. It just goes
All I
in
know
circles.
is that picture of me and Veronika with the pizza made me very hungry.
Right? I know. We none of us are actually eating pizza on this episode, but
I know.
we all have drinks at least of our choosing. So we've got that we've got that going for us. And the one time that we actually got a chance to meet in person because you guys are in New York. I'm in Illinois, and Scott and I and my girlfriend Lizzie had a chance to sit down and have dinner. And oddly enough, we didn't have pizza that day either. So,
Wow. This whole podcast is a scam.
I was just gonna say I'm starting to feel like I'm disappointing people, but you know,
we don't even get pizza. Like
it's been a rough year. Okay, you know,
there's a pizza shortage.
There's a pizza. Yeah, exactly. The pizza shortage. There's a pizza sauce shortage. Cheese. There's just not enough garlic. I don't know.
The vampires would be happy about that.
Yeah, that's very true. So, when was it? I think you guys started sponsoring episodes. Maybe it wasn't a year ago. I think maybe it was a year ago when both of you had messaged me or emailed me and were like, "Hey, we've got this idea." And we kind of want to talk to you about it and just see what you think of it. And I was like, yeah, sure. And like, I think the email came from you, Scott, and you didn't really give like any details as to what this business idea was. So, you know, we booked this meeting super far in advance. I feel like it was at least a couple weeks, if not more. And this whole time, I'm just wondering, like, what the hell is this going to be about? You know? And so we get in the meeting, and I think before that, Veronika, we sat down and met on your live stream series After Hours Review, right?
Mhm. Yep.
So you and Daniel were so gracious to have me on your show, which was a lot of fun. Thank you again for that. So we had met them, but I think that was the first time Scott and I had met, face to face, so to speak, through the
Digitally.
digitally, yeah. And so you pitched this idea to me, and you're like, so we're thinking of making a monthly subscription service, but it's all geared towards pop punk, and we were thinking of getting these takeout boxes and just putting merchandise and putting CDs and vinyl and shirts and all that, and sending it to people's houses once a month. It's like, what do you think of that? You think that'd be anything worthwhile? And I said, hell yeah, like that sounds awesome. And I remember trying to think of like, I'm not sure exactly how you would go about it though. It's like I think the
love
idea
hearing
is
your side of the story to this because I've been telling my side of the story to this, and it's like very similar.
is it similar? Is your side of the story similar, or is it completely different?
Well, it's like kind of similar. It's like, oh, so we pitched this idea to Jacques, and he's like, okay, cool. I don't know how we're gonna do this, but
Yeah.
like, we'll figure
Right. I think at that point it was like I was trying to figure out what my involvement would be, and this was very early stages. You guys were trying to put all the ducks in a row. I mean, at that point it was just an idea, right? I mean, I want to say that was in the fall. That was in November or something when we had that meeting.
I'm pretty sure it was like bang right into 2021, like in January or so.
Was it really?
I think
don't
so.
know.
I
I
can
thought
look
it
at
was.
I'm a Google Calendar person. I can look it up.
I was going to say we could, if we really want to be technical about it, we
Yeah.
could. But I think more importantly, what I should be asking you is how this idea actually came to mind, even way before you had shared the idea with me to get my thoughts on it. How did both of you together come up with the idea? And I guess if you want to, we can even go further back than that, talk about how you guys know each other, how you've been involved with music and all that.
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, I was just driving one day and I was thinking to myself, like, is there a subscription box for pop punk? Because I was thinking about that service VNYL vinyl.
Yes.
And I used to be a subscriber to that. I stopped because I ran out of money because it's ridiculously expensive.
How much is it right now?
I don't know what it is now, but then it was like, I mean, it was like $40 a month. And you get 3 vinyls, which is great. It's actually a pretty good deal.
That's not
but
terrible.
$40 a month can eat away at you sometimes.
Well, and what are you getting though? Are you actually getting what you really want, right? Like
That's the thing is they don't tell you what you're getting.
Yeah.
I think they do now, but at the time it was just they would curate a box based on your likes and dislikes.
Oh. Okay.
And so really I just was like, I wonder if there's a box that deals with like pop punk, because there's a box for everything. And then I looked it up, and I was only driving, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I was looking it up while driving.
Dude.
I know.
And eating pizza at the same time.
And eating pizza at the same time. I was stuck in traffic. So like, I will say that it was bumper to bumper, and I just kind of like was looking it up, and I couldn't find a single thing. So I knew I had a meeting that night with Veronika with a company that we used to be a part of. And I messaged her. I was like, hey, after the meeting, you want to meet separately? I have an idea. And I did, and here's a puppy.
I was gonna say, I hear the poor puppy. What's the puppy's name again?
Penny.
Penny.
Like, I contribute to the idea too.
That's so cute.
Penny wasn't alive when the idea came about.
No, Penny was not. Poor Penny.
But yeah, so I figured Veronika would definitely be the best person to kind of make this idea a reality. When I love coming up with ideas, I don't always know how to make them real.
Execute.
Yeah,
that's my problem. I have all these great ideas, but then when it comes to actually like the follow through, I'm horrible at it.
you need a Veronika.
I need a Veronica. Well, thankfully, I have a Lizzie who has been super
There you go.
helpful, in my life with not only being my lovely partner, but now she's actually been my assistant and has been helping me kind of keep the scheduling in order a little bit for
Mhm.
the podcast that I run. So that's a big help. But so is that kind of like why you brought up the idea to Veronika? Was like, I know she's good at this stuff. She can help me.
I just knew she was organized and she was resourceful at that time. So it was kind of like, this is a person who might be like super pumped about this, or be like, that's not going to work, and just shove it aside. She'd be honest about it. And
Scott, you're on crack. What are you thinking?
You're on drugs.
And-
What is going on?
well, so the entire rest of my drive after I came up with the idea, I just kind of just kept thinking about what the name could be. And I like alliteratives. Is that the word? And like just using letters, like the first letter kind of like make it work. Pop punk. I was like thinking pop punk pizza. I was like, wait, no, that's a thing already.
Jock would sue us.
And
Oh man.
I came up with, because I thought of the pizza idea first in my head, I was like, pop punk takeout. Like, why? Like, wouldn't it be cool if like things came in a pizza box? Because honestly, of you, Jacques, think like putting the idea of pop punk and pizza together, I was like, pop punk in a pizza box sounds perfect.
It does. And the logo that Veronika, you made that logo, right, Veronika?
No, I did
Oh,
not.
you did? Okay.
So as Scott mentioned, I kind of know how to like do things, I guess.
Get
I don't
things
know.
done,
Yeah, so my side of
Yeah.
the story is that actually I want to go back to when Scott and I met.
Yes,
So
please.
back when Pokemon Go was a thing,
Oh man.
we go on to like you do like raids, and there's like these raids where you go to like gyms and you like fight like the big like legendary Pokemon and everything. I mean like I didn't know Scott at the time, but we were in a group chat of like 5,000 other people in our area that like
I knew you though.
like, oh well, you knew of me, yeah. Oh,
I knew
like
you through my fiance.
yes. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
her and me went to the same high school together, but that's another story for another later. So we were all in a group chat together or whatever, and there was like a raid going on, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll go to this after work. And then I ended up just like not, because it's like very time based. You have like a certain time where you have to be there or whatever. I ended up not being there. This guy Scott's like, Veronika, are you coming to this raid? I'm like, no, I don't know. I'll try to make it, but I don't know. Are you sure? Are you sure you're not going to this thing? I'm like, I think I'm gonna pass. Are you positive? Like very like I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And then he messages me through Instagram. He's like, hey, I'm Scott. I'm the person that was like messaging through that like Facebook messenger group. I wanted to ask you to like
gosh.
take photos of my band that I was in at the time. Everything. That's how we met.
Oh, that's
Oh,
why he was
man.
harassing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very funny like little thing. So that was that. A couple of, I guess, what was it, years, I guess, of just like being in the music scene.
Yeah, a couple of years.
Yeah, so I did photography and I also write for a blog, the After Hours Review, like Jacques mentioned. And then Scott came to me with this idea and I was like, this is fucking awesome. I don't know how I don't know how nobody has like done this before. So I think in January, I think I met back with Scott and we're like, what do we do? And we're like, I don't know. So we figured out that we needed a website, a logo, branding, and everything. For me, I always tell people that like either I know how to do it or I know someone else who can do it. So the logo, branding, and everything was done by Brianna Anderson, and she's in a band, and I forgot their name. Nectar. There we go. They're in a band.
You forgot their name?
No, their band. I forgot the band that they were in. But anyway,
Well, it wasn't pizza related, so she forgot, or it wasn't Chinese food related either.
Yeah,
so.
it's just it slips my brain. I'm
Yeah.
all about takeout right now. But yeah, so Brianna, they designed the website, the branding, and everything. It was just like I gave them a couple of like ideas, and then they just kind of like went with it, and it was amazing and everything.
Awesome.
So, yeah, very very long answer to your logo.
No,
question.
no, not at all. And so to be even more direct, you guys met each other like in the Long Island, New York
Yeah.
area, right?
Exactly.
Because I know Scott, you're still in like Manhattan,
Yeah, but
or
I'm not
you're
from Long Island.
right. You're from right. That's right. I was trying to remember, and then there was a time where you actually lived in Chicago, though, too, because we talked about
It's true.
that.
Go Cubs.
And you're still a Cubs fan, aren't you?
Die hard.
Yeah, that's so
That's nice.
crazy. Even though,
Sorry.
even even though you're not born and raised in Chicago, you're a Cubs fan. I think that's great.
Happens. I was a Cubs fan since I was younger.
Oh,
Before moving
really?
there. Yeah.
Before? Oh, okay. Maybe you told me that and I forgot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was always like when people would like friends would come over to play like the video games. I don't even know what systems I had as a kid, but basically, like we played baseball games, they would always rush to be the Mets or the Yankees, and so I just would be like, okay, I'm gonna play as the Cubs,
Yeah.
and I became really into those players, and eventually moving to Chicago, I was like, perfect, this is my team.
So, what was the first thing besides, like after coming up with that idea, first talking about it, thinking, okay, this is a great idea, but how do we go about it? So what I know obviously I was one of the people that you discussed the idea with, but then like after we talked, what happened after that?
So I knew that making a solid brand was very important, especially for something like this. Again, we mentioned that there's probably nothing on this that's on the market. I think the only thing that's kind of similar is Ska Box, but they cater to the ska niche.
Right.
Um, but we knew that having a very solid brand and kind of identity was very important. So branding and website was first. Second was reaching out to bands and seeing in general if they were interested in like of that concept in general before we went to like like the public. The bands that I reached out to were actually people that I've either spoken to, interviewed, or I've had some sort of kind of connection from the after hours, so I kind of like scammed them from that thing. But all of them were so the first four bands or the three bands were Keep Flying, 408, and Brave Weather. All of them great people, and I messaged them, and they were all very much gung ho on board about it. Keep Flying, I was very much the most like surprised about because they're I call them a small national band. Like they have a sizable like following, and they can tour and everything. But they're also very passionate about the people that they've like grown up with, I guess, like within the Long Island music scene. So JJR, the saxophone player, he was like, what do you need from me? Like, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. So we talked through that. Very gracious for them taking the time to like go out and do like a little promo video with us. That was fun.
That was a great that was a great video.
It was,
Um,
it
we
was
did show that here on the podcast, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, JJR was on. He was on the podcast. He
yeah,
was on Pop Punk and Pizza like that very month, I
yeah,
believe.
I think, or like a month or something after. But yeah. So just having those four bands just being very like gung ho about the idea was awesome. They're all really into it. We then I started kind of like posting about like pre-orders and everything on like all the Facebook groups were also kind of really integral to all of this. Some groups that I can shout out is New Pop Punk. It's now the alternative music group. It was called the Pop Punk Network Community. The alternative
Networking
music
group.
community.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now it's yeah.
yeah. It's co-managed by Dan Freeman and Jared Reddick of Bowling for Soup. I know that, but yeah. So all those Facebook groups, I think, before we officially launched, I was kind of like putting out feelers, like, hey, like if you're a band and want to like like do some sort of like merch thing, like message me or comment. So I got a couple of like hits from there. Specifically Pat from Cities Never Sleep. They're a band from Duluth, Minnesota, and also co-runs Unsigned Pop Punk, which I found out a couple weeks later. He reached out and was like, hey, I'd love to be a part of this, and found out that Cities Never Sleep was doing a song with Keep Flying, and I was like, that's perfect. Like, you're on the box now. So it all kind of like tied in and everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, so just having like a very solid brand identity was like really important to me, and like just finding all the bands that I can work with. Also super important. And then now it's just kind of spread like wildfire, and it's cool. So
That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. When you were, reaching out to bands, and I know you had reached out to some other people in the music industry, what were some of their thoughts or concerns or, uh, I guess, constructive criticism or constructive feedback when you had reached out to them about this?
Wait, V, can I answer that with?
I mean, you don't have to say who, but I'm just curious to what some of these, whether it was managers, labels, you know.
One of my favorite things was that right away, all the bands that Veronika emailed or I emailed, every single time they're like, "This is the coolest idea, but what the hell do you need from us?"
Yeah,
Like, what do you,
I had to make
what's,
an FAQ. I was like, "Here's this document," and they're like, "What do you need from us?" I'm like, "It's in the document."
but they all love
Read
the
it.
idea, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
No, go ahead.
Got me. Oh,
Yep.
okay. Yeah. So that was the thing. It was like very cool idea. What do you need from us, et cetera, et cetera. I think a lot of like the biggest thing that we found from like particularly larger bands was they wanted a like big percent of profits that we weren't necessarily comfortable with sharing yet, as like literally being only like 2 months into working and everything. I think that was like the biggest thing, which is kind of like that, and I'm trying to think of other things. I don't know. Everyone else was just like, this is a cool idea, and just kind of, I think because we're still kind of like a baby company, that it's like finding that foundation and traction, like it's gonna bring those people back, kind of thing.
So really, you're focusing more on the smaller independent part of the scene versus trying to jump too high
Oh,
at this point,
it
or
like yes and no. Like it really depends. Like I think any band can tell you that like just send out that email. Like the worst that they can say is no. We've gotten super lucky with the bands that we've worked with, like Keep Flying and Smart Punk Records. Their roster was fantastic. MXPX from WTF. Just like it just takes one band like that to believe in you, and then you're just kind of go from there. And then other bands kind of notice that, and then go from there. And then we have a couple of collaborations in the future that I can't really mention because it's not next year yet. So
I'm really excited to hear what those are. I'm like, ooh, I can't wait. And speaking of, like, what is it for? We're in November right now, so what's the November box?
oh gosh, we got a bunch of stuff. All right, 1 second. There's like sales going on. We just announced, or Unsigned Pop Punk announced. We're gonna post about it tomorrow. But Unsigned Pop Punk just announced that we did a collaboration with them of a compilation of holiday songs, or a holiday compilation, or it's a Christmas compilation. But I'm saying holiday because because Scott's Jewish and he would be mad at me. So
You got to include everybody. There's
I don't know why I did the horror there. I was just like, I'm gonna think of a chair.
Yeah, so what was it? So we've got a Christmas compilation that's up for pre-order next week, and then that'll be sent out to people in like December, in November.
And V, I think the band. I want to make sure that before I say anything, the band that I really like got on the compilation, right?
Yeah. What was it? The Stop, Drop, Rewind?
Yes. Stop, Drop, Rewind, which I wanted to bring up. I wanted to bring up because the only reason I know about this band is because of Pop Punk and Pizza, and I think they're incredible.
Yeah, those guys are they're so unique and they're so hilarious and they're great. I've known Stop, Drop, Rewind since I was in high school. Because when I was playing in my band, The Projection, we would play shows with them, and then they never stopped. Unlike we broke up, but all these years later, I think they're on their like 15th anniversary or something along those lines.
And they have a new album coming out.
And they do have a new album coming out. And
stoked.
And what I love about them is you can't really pinpoint like
what it's gonna sound like.
Yeah, what they're gonna do, because it's like they can write like the greatest pop punk song ever, but then they kind of go like when I first met them, they were like this indie rock math rock. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's definitely
Math
more.
rock, jazz, yeah.
Yeah, it's more on the experimental end of things. But then they put their Space Force theme song out, for example, like when they were on Pop Punk and Pizza. That was the main thing we were talking about. Which, if you haven't listened to that song yet, you got to listen to it. You get a great laugh. I know you guys have, but anyone that's just listening to this now. So it's cool that you have them in for the holiday.
Yeah, the holiday
comp.
compilation,
Okay.
along with Always Grounded, TLB, Million Miler, so like a bunch of awesome people from all
Oh,
over.
Miler.
Yeah,
A little bit of Tom.
little bit of
Yeah, you got to
Tommy.
have
He's
Tom
great.
Higginson in there, man.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, so November, I was just like making sure that I got everyone. But actually, the main kind of like vinyl is this little guy over here. It's I actually have it here. Yeah. Oh, you can't really see, but it's the Our Voices EP. It's from I Surrender Records, and it features bands that are like specifically from Long Island, like bigger kind of bands. So like Bayside. So I think that's Adam Lazar,
Which-
right? Oh my god, don't kill me.
Bayside.
Right, and then we've got Anthony Ranieri, Christopher Conley. Then we've got Vinny Karuna.
What?
Yeah, so
Wow.
good shit.
Man.
Yeah, so that's the
This
main
is
vinyl feature.
awesome.
That's gold right there. People are gonna eat that up.
Absolutely.
So that's all in the November box.
Yep,
Okay.
along with the Magwas, who are very awesome people. I got to meet them at their show at Amityville Music Hall, like the nicest people ever. They were like, "I'm so happy that you're doing Pop Punk Takeout." I'm like, "You don't even know me, but thank you."
They're amazing, and their new single is incredible too.
Yes,
so
I
sad.
agree.
It's so good.
We had a lot of fun when they were on the podcast earlier this year. I already forget. It's been yet again a weird year, so I can't remember like who was on when. Like I can't remember if it was this year or last year when people were on. Sometimes I know they were specifically on the podcast in 2021 though. But it's cool that they're finally getting a part of the takeout box. And then you will still have a box for December, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So with I'm still trying. I have to see how many will have sold of the. Like, I'm trying to think if we want to do like the compilation with the box, or like have it separate, or like have it like a little like combination kind of thing, little like combo thing. But yeah. I mean, I don't know. Do we want to divulge who's like the main person?
When are you planning to announce? Like, when are we planning to announce?
Oh, the Christmas compilation?
No, the like who's in the box
for December? Oh, like probably end of November. Okay, so stay tuned.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this will be. We're actually recording this on November 9th, but it'll probably drop like a week from today. So,
okay.
So yeah, probably like the 16th. So we're still in like the middle of November.
I'll give one hint though. Somebody that we mentioned already will be featured in the December box.
Okay.
Yep.
Do I get a prize for guessing? Like
maybe after the episode.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll think about it. I'll give you my guess, and I'll see if I'm right, and then
then you'll get more Pop Punk Takeouts.
Then I'll get. I want to thank you guys seriously for being such a, for being the title sponsor for, Pop Punk and Pizza here for the last. I think it's been 6 months.
I think we're at 5 or 6. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in there, because it happened literally right before I went to New York.
Yeah.
To visit my brother and to have dinner with you during that visit. So yeah, I can't thank you guys enough for wanting to be a part of the podcast, and it's been really awesome to see Pop Punk Takeout unfold, and I'm really excited for like what's coming next year, and I'm sure like off mic I'll probably hear something, but I'm still super excited. And even if you don't, you're like, yeah, sorry, Jacques. That's
Jacques gonna like threaten us, be like, oh,
that's above your pay grade. Sorry, pal. But what is when you were putting things together? What was something that was harder than you realized when it came to putting these boxes together? I mean, you put them all together yourself. I imagine
I
that's got to
keep going
be
the wrong
time
way.
consuming.
Yeah. Thinking at least 3 months in advance, which like I was mentioning, like 2022. I think we were curating this like December box in like June, or at least like talking to people about it. So just kind of like having that whole like being present, like we have to kind of like advertise this specific month's box, but also plan for these specific kind of like themed boxes for like the end of the year, the beginning of the year. So I think like there's no shortage of people that we can reach out to. There's there's a huge pop punk community. You just kind of have to look for it. It's just the whole yeah, like I think in like during my birthday, everyone's like happy birthday, and I was like thank you. I have to think about this December box.
I
My birthday's in June, by the way.
was gonna say your birthday was forever ago already.
Yeah, so it's like it's weird like being that whole like being having to be present but also having to think like pretty far in advance and everything and just kind of like planning things out. Especially with some merch items like vinyl specifically. Like I have a couple of relationships with vinyl cutters, and I want to, for this Christmas compilation specifically, I wanted to see if we can get it on a vinyl.
Oh,
And
nice.
we were talking about it in I think October, and I was messaging my vinyl people, and they're like, we're backed up until February, which
It's
is
so
like
hard right now. Yeah.
it's crazy to think about. And or just like booking a show just to like promote things. It's like everyone is booked up until like next year, so it's like having to like think that far in advance while also having to be present and like promote the things like in that current month is like probably one of the most difficult things. But
Yeah.
do our
That was,
best.
I mean, this is a conversation I'm sure we'll have off mic eventually. But now that you bring that up, we should definitely work on putting some type of show together in the Chicago area. You know,
We really
Yeah,
want
all
to do
Scott
that.
ever wants to do is book shows, and I'm
I
like,
do. I
sir.
love booking shows. No, I really want to try to do that. If not next summer, then maybe next holiday time.
yeah, sometime within like the next year. Like,
Well,
I
because
think
really, I'd love to do something in on Long Island because that's where we're from.
Right.
In Chicago because that's where you are, and then maybe something on the West Coast because we have
Mhm.
so many bands that we talk to and work with or plan to work with from over there. And my dog's barking now.
Penny,
And he's
what
like,
are you doing?
It's because mommy's not here, so
Aw.
she's not happy.
even the United Kingdom, like we which is crazy to think about that we have like a Europe UK liaison person. Like we could probably like it feasibly we could probably do something in like the United Kingdom, which is like wild to me. Like a few too many, solid band, and
Yes.
just
Solid band.
and then a bunch of other bands that I can't think about right now because like
There's
like meeting all these bands.
Slacker. There's Royals.
Thanks.
Home Truths.
Thank
I
you.
love Home Truth.
I mean, the
By
list
the way, Home
goes
Truths, get back to us. Thanks.
on. I should, especially Ross. I know he comments on our stuff all the time. So Ross, Home Truths, hey, come on,
Hello.
let's make this happen here.
I think is When the Sun Sets. Are they UK?
Chicago,
Chicago. That's probably why it was in my head.
but both
That's
of
the thing
them
with,
are
like,
on.
a lot of bands where
They're
it's
both
like,
on Lost Music Collective. Yeah.
Which we'd love to do something with Vinny and Eric over at Lost as
oh
well.
yeah, you guys could put a hell of a great box
Box ticket, yeah.
together. Yeah,
Mhm.
just with the bands they have on. That would be so hard to do because all the bands on their label are incredible. So
yeah, that was the thing with WTF and Smart Punk, which like awesome brands.
Shout
as
out to
well.
Stephanie and Matt.
Yeah, Stephanie and the whole WTF team, Matt and the whole Smart Punk team.
yay! Yes, they are incredible.
Yeah. So one of the things that what we were doing after we started like figuring out the brand and everything was reaching out to blogs, managers, etc. And Jock was one of those people who got like a free kind of like PR box.
Yes, and thank you
Um,
for that. That was so cool. I loved unboxing that. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was also another thing. On top of that was so there was one box that was like the actual kind of like box for like the public, and then I wanted to create a box that was like separate, like a PR box that was like separate bands and everything. I believe those bands were Off Guard, Out of Time, The Hashi. There was a lot of people. I definitely messaged a couple of people, but I remember Out of Time specifically because I forgot who, but they were commenting on like Pop Punk and Pizza Pod like Facebook groups like specifically, and I messaged. Oh, it was oh my god, was it James? Is his name James? No. Oh my god, what's his name? No, his middle name is James.
I
Oh my
can't
God.
remember, but I believe I know who you're talking about.
1 second.
Um,
I'm gonna look like an idiot. 1 second. This is gonna bother me. 1 second. Marlo. You know his last name is Marlo.
That's all right. I'm just trying to get my dog to stop barking. So
well, she's been quiet now. So, oh, there she goes.
I was on
Hi.
mute.
Oh.
Love it. But yeah, anyway, I messaged Out of Time and I was like, hey, so I saw you were like commenting on like Pop Punk and Pizza Pod. Would you be interested in this business idea and like some like just like donating just like some merch or whatever, we'll pay you for whatever. And they were like, this is so cool. Don't pay us. We'll give you these things. So
Wow.
it was cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Penny, you got something to say?
She's barking at my door, but there's no one there.
You gotta love it. Yeah.
I lost my train of thought after
I'm sorry.
Blame Penny.
We were talking about, obviously, you were talking about the PR box. You know, it included, you mentioned Off Guard and Out of Time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So with finding like all the brands and everything, I emailed WTF PR, and Steph, who's I think she's the founder head of WTF.
Yes.
And she's like, this is awesome. Like, I'd love to get a box. This is super great. Also, if you're I would love to see where we could collaborate. And then like I was looking through a roster. I'm like, funny you should mention that. So I had a meeting with her. She's super sweet. Her entire team is amazing. So that's where kind of the WTF and Smart Punk box kind of like came about, because they're also doing the PR for Smart Punk and everything.
Yes.
Same with Matt Burns. Matt Burns does the merch for Keep Flying, so that's kind of how I got there. Like when people email me like, oh, like if you want to like collaborate, or like if there's anything that we can do like in the future, let me know. Like I will call you. If there's a number, I will call you.
Well, you have my number, so you know.
Yeah, basically, yeah. When you were like, oh, like if there's anything that we can do to like help, let me know. Then I was just like, sponsored the entire year.
I think I was like, you guys were like, okay, we're gonna sponsor some episodes, and I think I was the one that was like, how about we do this? And then it ended.
Yeah,
you know what?
It's been awesome, like working with you.
Yeah,
too.
it makes sense. It just makes sense. I mean, I literally came up with the company because of listening to your podcast so much.
Suing us for millions of dollars, you can just pay him less than $1 million to sponsor his episodes.
$1 million, sir. That's not really a lot of money anymore. $1 billion. I think that's what, I don't know, something like that. I'm a horrible Dr. Evil impression. I'm shame. But no, I'm very honored and very flattered that I was part of the influence a little bit. I can't take credit for all the great things that you guys are currently doing. So what's something that you would like to happen more of with future boxes? I mean, obviously you want to have bigger names, but also like what's like some unique items. Let's talk about some of the unique items besides like the vinyl and stuff. I know like the most recent box you sent me had the hot sauce in it, which I guess you briefly mentioned that, Veronika, a little bit ago. But it also had a pizza cutter from Smart Punk Records in there. But yeah, like what are some future boxes that you'd love to have? Or what are your dream? I always get asked when I'm on other podcasts. They're like, "Who are your dream guests?" You know.
I mean,
so I'm asking you, who are your dream? Who are your dream bands and pop punk takeout boxes?
Dream merch?
I mean, Bayside right here. I would kill to have Bayside in a box.
I was expecting you to say Bayside.
I mean, fun fact: I proposed to my fiance at a Bayside concert.
Yeah, congratulations. That's a story we can definitely get to. I want to
Another
hear.
time.
No, on this podcast,
Okay.
and just a couple minutes. But let's go. Scott says Bayside. How about you, Veronica? Like, what's
Um,
a
I
dream
mean, like
artist?
I know they've deviated from like their pop punkness, but probably Fallout Boy would be like
Yeah.
mine. Just if they do if they do something like that. I don't know. Folia Do was like a very like when people ask me like what's like a great album from front to back, it would be Folia Do by Fallout Boy. So they would be mine, I think. Oh, Hot Mulligan. So
Oh yeah.
I mean emailed you 5 times. Respond, please.
I'm
I was
supposed to
gonna.
see them on December 10th. Well, hopefully, I do that.
That's true.
Fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
so in terms of like new age pop punk, definitely Hot Mulligan. But I think fully out like probably like the greats, like I would think Fall Out Boy, Blink 182, just like having just like having that kind of even if they just like know that's like one of the things that's kind of
Sorry.
can help you.
I feel like Veronica
Sorry.
is gonna like bust through the screen right now with a knife.
I'm sorry, my laundry's ready, but I'll get it later.
I do this like this is how you know I'm comfortable with you guys because it's like I do this is like a very common occurrence with Scott. I'm just like, excuse me. It's like,
What is that?
what's going
Go
on?
get your laundry.
No,
Yeah.
I'm with you guys, my friends.
Aw.
Oh shucks.
Aw.
But yeah, so I think the greats that were kind of like I would love to do like I've mentioned to Scott like I would love to do like an all stars box where it like features like the bands that we've like known from our like younger years, but like their side projects. So like Mayday Parade,
Oh, okay.
Fall Out Boy. I know Patrick Stump doesn't do his like stuff. I mean, maybe he does,
I
but
mean,
yeah, just
I don't know. That's been a long time. Like he only,
yeah.
wasn't it only one record,
yeah. I think it was one record.
and that was it.
Yeah.
I'd love
I
to
know-
have a Andrew McMahon box.
Oh
Just
my
something
God.
corporate, Jack's Mannequin, Wilderness, all of it.
Dude, that box would sell out in 0 seconds. Like it wouldn't even be 1 second. It would just be gone. Just
Absolutely. Yeah, and then in terms of unique merch items, I don't know. It's so we've had coffee, we've had hot sauce, we've had pizza cutters, so it's hard to say. We've had books, we've had Chris
We
DeMenzi's
had
book,
rolling
Oh,
trays.
we've had rolling trays, so it's hard to say. I don't know.
I mean, personally, I'd love to see because I know the market with this. I'd love to see exclusive vinyl in every single box. I think that would be incredible if we can get to that point where we're working with the labels to get an exclusive variant of a vinyl
Oh, yeah.
in our box and because really we want those bigger bands to have these exclusive all these bands to have exclusive vinyl and be able to have that because the whole really mission of our company is to not only just spread pop punk around the world, but it's to introduce people to bands they maybe haven't heard of. So say we have a box with MXPX in it, like we did. There's all these other bands that maybe people have never heard of, but they love MXPX. So they get the box, and all of a sudden they're becoming fans of everyone else in that box. And that's exactly what our goal is. And I think if we were able to get to a point where we're doing exclusive variant vinyls in every box, I know people are into that no matter who the band is.
Mhm.
And they're going to then find these up and coming bands to really follow.
Mhm.
yeah,
That's definitely
absolutely.
been one of the most rewarding things I think from all of that is that both from customers and from bands like separately where like I've had people like just direct message like the page being like, hey, I haven't heard of Brave Weather before, but I found them through you and they're awesome. Or with Keep Flying, their drummer was like, I've had people who like don't even care about my band, but they've reached out and like, I saw you on TikTok from Pop Punk Takeout. Like it's just like it's weird that it's like and there's just been like different like accounts like that where they've like found them through us, which I think is like such a like rewarding thing.
It's the coolest. It's the coolest thing. I had someone reach out to me on Instagram the other day on the Pop Punk and Pizza Instagram, and they said the same thing about one of the bands that I recently had on the podcast. They're like, "Yeah, I've actually been listening to them ever since you played their song on the
Mhm.
podcast, like back in January.
Mhm.
And it's just so I guess it's rewarding because it's like it's a new band, it's not a well-known band, and they're actually giving that band a shot.
Yeah, because of like something that you do, and you're kind of like that vessel, and it's like,
You're like the middleman, you
yeah.
know. So it's cool to hear like, oh, people are actually listening, or they're actually looking, or they're actually buying. I guess in your case, they're actually buying the box and
Mhm.
they're loving that MXPX, uh, limited edition item or whatever it is. But they
Mhm.
also, they're like, whoa, where did this other band come from? How come I'm just now hearing about them?
Mhm. Yeah, and I've noticed that like people have been so like they've been like customers have been super like awesome with like tagging bands. Like on like whenever they like post a box, they'll like tag all the bands, even if it's like so what we do is like we'll have a card that's I don't have a card with me, but we'll have like a little card that's kind of like a little menu that'll show you like the 4 or 5 featured bands. And then occasionally I'll throw in a couple of like stickers. That's been another thing where like bands have found us. They're like, "Hey, we really like what you're doing. We're just gonna send you a bunch of stickers." And I'm like, "Okay." so,
Why not?
so I'll like include them in the box, and like I've noticed that like people have been very like good about like tagging all the bands and everything. Scare 20, for example, their lead singer Andrew had like came out to me. He was like, "Yeah, I've had like random people like tagging my band." I'm like, "Yeah, I included your stickers in the box." So it's and like people like that's been like as far as like Hawaii and like Australia. So it's like it's cool like seeing that kind of like connections from all over. And just
What's
people they were excited. It's cool. I
And
like it.
and I know you've sent to the UK, but where else have there been like any countries far away that someone's buying one of these boxes by chance?
So Australia was one of them. I had someone message me because they were like, "Hey, I can't." This was like very early on. I think it was
Hmm.
like June. Yeah, it was like June. And they like messaged like I think they either messaged our TikTok account or our Instagram account. They're like, there's something weird in like the website where you have to like specify like shipping numbers like based on country. And I
Yeah.
think I only did it on like the United States because I was like, no one's gonna buy this in Australia. So someone from Australia was like, hey, I can't buy this in Australia. It's just like not available. And I was like, what do you mean? And then I looked up and I had to like add in all the specific countries. So I think the furthest has been Australia. I think, yeah. So that's cool. I
Awesome.
think is that
That's
would that
so
be
cool.
the furthest?
That would be the furthest from us. Yeah.
I was gonna say that's pretty damn far.
Yeah.
No.
There's
Okay.
not much else further.
Yeah.
No, yeah, like only it would be like China or Japan or something like that.
Yeah,
That would
yeah,
be
having someone
further.
being like, "Hey, we want to buy this box, but we can't because like your website was like you don't have like the shipping like allocated or whatever." It was
Yeah, and the fact that like they directly messaged you to they didn't just give up like, oh, well they don't have the
yeah, they're like, "I want this pizza box."
Yeah, they're like, damn it! What's wrong
Give it
with
to me.
you?
Yeah, it
What
was
do you
yeah,
have against
so
Australians?
yeah.
I do have to wonder though, like the post office, like everywhere in the country in the world, what they're thinking when they see a pizza box come through.
I do
I
wonder that too, like what they're thinking when they're delivering that to my door. They're like, well, what the hell is this? Like,
I think the post office has like gotten to know like so for context, I pack and ship everything myself. So I think every post office that I've been to has gotten to know me as like the person who just kind of like carries like, all these like pizza boxes, and they're like, "Oh, is this pizza for me?" I'm like, "No, it's
no,
for my pop punk merch business." Just
and
scan it, please.
and they're just like you're like trying not to like look like this weirdo. Like you're like okay,
Yeah, I've noticed. Yeah, I've noticed. Like my favorite comments are like from like the older generations, boomer, if you will. They're like, "What?" So like they're having this like mental kind of like conversation in their head. There's like there's this girl and she's like carrying a lot of pizza boxes and there's like some logo on top of it, but they're not pizza boxes. But are they? Like it's just like this funny little like game that they do in their head, and I'm just kind
there's
of like,
drugs in there, isn't there? Drugs, I knew it.
yeah, exactly. So that's been the funniest
You
thing.
damn millennials and your pot,
Your pots and your pizzas.
and your pizzas.
What's next? A takeout box? And I'm like, Haha.
Chinese
You
takeout
guessed
box.
it. Oh man. So, I feel like listeners by now should know how to contact you. They've been hearing this message for, for the last 6+ months or so. It's poppunktakeout.com. Everyone needs to sign up right now.
Well, so just so you know, it is not actually a subscription box right now. We do hope to get to that point where people can maybe do a 3-month, 6-month, year-long subscription. But right now, it's just being a monthly box, and we're going based off of the fans of everybody that's in the box. So when somebody's a fan of even the smaller one, they might get it, or of the bigger bands, or whoever it is. And hopefully, we can get to a point where we can start that whole subscription model. But
Yeah, shout out to the
great.
people who like the first of every month just like buy a box. I'm
Yeah.
just like,
is there no way to like automatically let you just be a subscriber for,
There probably is. Listen, we're all learning here.
Oh yeah, no. I'm just curious. Like I mean,
Yeah,
I
there
totally get
definitely
it. I
is.
totally get it.
Yeah, there definitely is. I'm just like I mean, we haven't found like the right channels to like find it within like the website and everything.
Sure.
I've had someone else like let me know that's like, oh, you just like press a button, and then like I find this button and it's like lost in the matrix, and I'm like, yeah. So that's like one of the cool, I don't know, for me, I always like learning new things, so just like kind of building this kind of like monthly merch box I've learned so much from it. I've learned how to like source out like merchandise, how to like build a website, and like how to like take like payments and everything. So that's the one thing. But the other thing is like I don't know, it's like I kind of like I've listened to a lot of episodes of Shark Tank, so I just kind of assumed that things would just kind of like not be 100%. Like,
well, what does Scott do? I feel like
No,
Veronika
okay,
does so
no.
much work. What does Scott do? What do you do, man?
Absolutely nothing. No. Veronika is the rock star. She is absolutely the rock star. When we first were started to create this and figure it all out, I went through a really rough time in my life, and she took the reins, and now she won't give any of them up.
not on purpose.
No, she's been incredible, and she's really made this company what it is. And yeah, I mean, we both reach out to bands, we both talk to the bands, try to get new people, try to figure out theme boxes for the future, because I love theme anything.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, Veronika's
Scott
really
knows a
put
lot
it all
of,
together.
like, niche bands,
I feel like
really appreciate.
this is about to turn into like a couples therapy session. I feel like right now. Why won't you let go some of the reins? Give me one, please.
No, Scott's really good with like finding like very specific like bands and everything. Like, I don't know, for me, I'm like I always go for like the Fall Out Boys and like whatever and all of that. And like I don't know, he's really like, I think he's more like well, I mean, I've gotten more into it obviously. But he's been in the pop punk music scene since like he came out of the
there's Scott listening to pop punk. He's got headphones on and everything.
So he like, I don't know, he knows like the bigs and the smalls, and that's what I really appreciate, is that he can recommend you a band from literally anywhere. And I've kind of had to kind of like learn from that. My previous kind of like musical niches were like ska and like hardcore and everything. Not that I didn't appreciate pop punk, obviously. But he's been
pop punk sucks.
Yeah, it's according to Jacques. I have a wonderful quote.
You do have that wonderful quote. I'll never forget you. Real quick in a I don't even remember what it was, but it was a comment. I commented on something. I don't know if it was something you posted or someone else, but I think I replied to you and I said, well, pop punk sucks. And then,
that's like one thing about me, is like if you say something, I'm like, all right, what memes can I make out of this?
And the next thing I know, she finds one of my like professional pictures of myself for the podcast, and then puts this quote. right next to it saying "Pop Punk sucks,"
That's one of my
and then
biggest
under
assets is that I can make memes out of you in like a
I
second.
I wish I could find it and show it to everyone, but I died laughing when you did that. You're like, here you go.
And you know what? Even better, now that we've talked about that, Veronika is specifically going to be putting stickers of that meme in every box.
Oh my god.
You
I
should.
should. Oh my
You
god.
really should. I fully sign off on this. You would do
Oh,
it if
all
I
right.
signed off on it or not.
All right,
I
what was
mean,
this? 55 minutes and 10 seconds. Okay, got it. So I can
yeah.
just make sure that it's not.
Oh my god.
Mm.
But like I said, I'm really happy for you guys. How else? How do you want to leave this episode? What else do you want people to know besides? We talked about obviously the November box. You're working on actually getting it to be an automatically monthly subscription thing. Thank you to the people that have just kept coming back to buy the box.
For
Mhm.
sure.
But yeah, what else?
I really hope people still stay. I can't wait to speak right now. Still stay excited about this, and as we grow and as we kind of learn. And anybody listening, if you have a band, please reach out to us. We want to help all sizes of bands, from the little to the massive. And we definitely want to hear your stuff.
Sure.
Awesome. Well put, man. How about you, Veronika?
I'm just like when we were first kind of like thinking about this and kind of like in the stages of like making this a thing, like Scott and I both had our doubts. Like we knew that it was going to be like a long and difficult road. It was going to be like hard, like especially like building from something from like 0 to 100. We both knew that it was hard, and like I'm sure my boyfriend can like let you know about all the like anxiety that I've had, like even just like publishing the website. And like for me, I was like, only my mom and like my sister is gonna like buy a box just to like, whatever. But it's reached so many people. And it's just reached so many like people, from like blogs to musicians to brands, and to people that like there's some bands that I redacted that know that know about this box. They're just know that the idea of pop punk takeout is like blows my mind. The fact that people know about it, like from big and small, is awesome, and I'm just so grateful for all the people like Pop Punk and Pizza Pod, WTFPR, Smart Punk, like and then all the bands that we worked with, that were just like, this is a cool idea, we're gonna support you 100%.
And
That's
Unsigned Pop Punk.
and outside pop punk, yeah. Yeah, like funny, like I've had a couple of like friends who are like in like the hardcore music scene. They're like, this is a cool idea, but like it's not got my kind of music, but this is like they appreciate like what it is. And like I think with stuff like that, I just kind of know that it's an awesome idea, and I'm willing to kind of like put my all into it. So I'm just really appreciative of all the people that have been just like supportive of it from like day 0 negative 100. Yeah, like Jock was here from like negative 100, so before it even like was a thing. 100 BC. There we go.
That's a long time ago.
You're old.
I really am. I really am.
I'm just like really
We're old.
of all the people who have been like supportive of it, and it's like obviously like starting something isn't easy, and I'm just appreciative of people who've been like, this is a cool idea, keep doing it, and yeah.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate both of you. I'm very, very thankful for that we've been able to, work together. It's just been great, and I'm really happy to have been, have a small part in it. It's really one of the coolest things that I've ever had to do with Pop Punk and Pizza in the last 5 years, is be like, yeah, I kind of, I'm partnered with these with Pop Punk Takeout, and I think that's just it's definitely one of the greatest things that I've gotten to be involved with. So thank you for that.
Well, hey, what's the saying? I'm gonna totally butcher this saying, but it's like nothing can happen unless you vocalize it, kind of thing, like where you like just put out things into the universe.
Yep.
But let's make a Pop Punk Takeout and Pop Punk and Pizza Pod show in Chicago next summer.
Yes.
Let's just do it.
Amen.
Not Scott manifesting.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Let's make it happen. Seriously. I'm all about that. I think it'd be great. I mean, as you know, Chicago is full of amazing pop punk artists, so we could definitely do a really cool show, and if you guys want to come out for it, you can stay at my house, or I can find some other place for you to stay, that has pizza nearby, or maybe we could just rent like a pizza restaurant and just stay the night in
Oh
it.
my God, we buy out a pizza restaurant.
Is there Illuminati's Airbnb? Because that's all I want.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. That could almost be that could be a contest that we run with Lou Malnati's, and someone could sign up for a chance to actually spend the night at a pizza restaurant. Like, who wouldn't want to do that? Or maybe I'm the only weirdo.
I don't know if anyone really wants to spend the night at a pizza restaurant.
I do. I think it'd be cool. Why not?
All the pizza restaurants are going to be in your DMs like, hey, so...
Hey,
I'm in New York. There's certain things. The pizza here is the best pizza in the world, but there are rats all over this city.
It's part of the experience, Scott.
Yeah, man. You get to chill with the pizza rat from the subway,
Love him.
He's my hero, He's my icon, my unsung hero for sure.
I actually have a rat in my it comes into my garbage cabinet, and we named them Sparkles.
Sparkles. Okay. All right.
Okay.
But we haven't. We literally trapped it and got rid of it, and it came right back.
They're smart, man.
It's his house now. He pays rent. I don't know what you want.
I wish he paid rent. That'd be great.
Make him pay rent. Yeah. Or she, whatever he, she, whatever it is. All right, Veronika, Scott, this has been so much fun. Anything else? Excuse me, I'm burping over here. Yeah, anything else before we close out?
Follow Pop Punk and Pizza Podcast. Follow Pop Punk Takeout. I don't know. Cool.
Yeah, and we're at Pop Punk Takeout everywhere.
We got super lucky with the handles, and nobody else thought of it. I was like, haha.
Isn't that nice? You always feel super accomplished with that, So yeah, I'm glad that it was all available.
Yeah, I would have been really sad if we had to be Pop Punk Takeout -1 or something.
Right? Yeah. Or something like that. Yeah.
But
awesome.
follow us. We got some cool things in the end of the year and the upcoming next year, and check it out.
And if you need photos taken, call V.
Only if you're in the New York area.
It's either that or I have to fly out to Chicago. But I mean, I'm trying to go see my brother in Brooklyn at least once a year. So it very well could happen that be like, hey, I'm going to be in New York, this week. Let's take pictures,
Or let's put up a festival.
Or let's put, we can do that too. Don't tease me, Scott. Don't tease me. I'm a big
manifesting things.
I'm a big dreamer,
yes,
just like
word,
you
manifest.
are. Manifest.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think the reason why Veronika is against that is because you manifest to these things, and she's the one that has to.
I'm like, okay.
And then she's like, "Oh man, that's a lot of work," because she's the one that's got to organize.
This is the one thing where I actually have more experience in.
The ideas, yeah.
Booking. No, not the ideas, just booking.
Yeah.
Oh, true. Yeah, I can't book things for. So.
But Jacques, thank you so much. This has been incredible. I've been a fan of this podcast for a long time.
I truly appreciate that. It seriously means so much, and I'm very very flattered by that.
Yeah, and I hope I'll plug one thing just because I'm here. Why not? If you're in New York, Chicago, or Las Vegas, go see Blue Man Group.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because are you still working for Broadway or a Broadway
I work
company?
I work for Blue Man Group.
You work now exclusively for Blue Man Group.
Yep.
Okay. Was that is that new? Were you doing that when I had dinner with you in New York?
No.
Okay, that's what I
So
thought.
I joined them when they reopened.
Okay, gotcha. But before that, you were working for someone else involved with Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. I'm just trying to remember. I'm apologize. My memory can be terrible sometimes, but that's just what I remember. So, but Broadway wasn't. At that time that was in the summer of 2020.
Yeah, Broadway wasn't open
21.
yet.
It wasn't open yet, and I remember you were telling me, yeah, we're going to be reopening in September, and that kind of thing. So. I need to see Blue Man Group. So I guess
Yes, go to Briar Street Theater in Chicago. I'm at the Astor Place in New York, but Briar Street in Chicago, it's a wonderful theater and it's a wonderful show.
Awesome. All right. Well,
and your son will love it. Just saying.
He probably would,
Not
honestly.
the son.
He probably would. He would probably really like that. He's into cool things like that. Either that or he'd be terrified by it, one of the two. But I think he'd find it cool because actually his favorite color is blue. So, it could really work in his favor. But yeah, anytime, by the way, I want to say again, anytime you guys are in the Chicago area, let me know. And, we'll have dinner, all that stuff.
Adelinea?
What's that?
I said Adelinea.
Adelinea?
#1 restaurant in the world.
Where is Adelinea?
In Lincoln Park. It's right by Steppenwolf Theater. It's like $250 a plate, so I was kidding. But
yeah, we'll do that.
He's not that
Do they
nice
have pizza? Do they have pizza there?
No, but we can go to Illuminati's together.
Hey, I'm all for that. They follow us on Twitter, so I'm thinking
Look at that.
we might have an in there. I mean,
Might have a sponsorship. Might get some things for free.
Might have some. Yeah, it might have an in there. So. All right. Well, you guys have a good night, and thanks again for doing this.
Thank you.
This is awesome. Thank you for having us. This is great.
No problemo.
All right.
Hey, hello, it's nice to meet ya. Hey, come in and have a slice of pizza. Hey, hello, it's nice to meet ya. Hey, come in and have a slice of pizza.